Once you've reached projectneutral.org, you should be seeing this page. If this isn't what you're seeing, make sure you typed in .org, because I think projectneutral.com is something else entirely. And then you want to click this big pink Getting Started button. You do have to create an account for this, because the goal is that you're going to use the tool continually to monitor your progress. I'm creating an example account just for the purpose of this tutorial. And if you like this kind of content and you want to learn more, feel free to subscribe to our newsletter. We're just going to ask you some questions to get a snapshot of what your carbon footprint looks like. First, we like to know where you live. This list of municipalities here is a list of cities that have already established partnerships with us. If you don't live in one of those areas, that's okay. I don't either. I live elsewhere in Ontario, in Hamilton, and this specific postal code. Next, we like to learn about your household. How many adults and teenagers live in your home? I live with my dad, so that is 2 adults and 0 children. When it comes to our actual home, we live in an apartment with 3 bedrooms that we rent, and it's from the 70s. So I want to say that that is between 30 and 80 years old, a middle-aged building, if you will. Next is transportation. This is the part of the tutorial where people get to learn a lot of fun facts about me. The first is that I don't know how to ride a bike, so I'm not going to click that option. But I do walk. I do take public transit. And the second fun fact is that I don't have my driver's license, so I don't really spend a lot of time driving, because then I would have to be with other people. But if you are someone who drives, we just ask what kind of vehicle you use, how many minutes you drive on an average weekday, the same for an average weekend, and how your car is powered. Next is air travel. Did anyone in your household travel by plane in the past 12 months? For me, it's no. But if it's yes for you, just indicate how many round-trip flights people in your household took over the past 12 months. Next is your diet. I am an average omnivore. We throw out leftovers or spoiled food sometimes. And finally, we like to ask if you compost. This is a pretty hot topic question, so if the answer for you is no, we just like to know why. If you just don't think it's worth the extra effort or smell, that's totally cool, no judgment. But if you're like me, then maybe your building or city doesn't have a green bin program. We used to have one, and then the city of Hamilton took it away from us. Lastly, we like to ask about your waste. Do you use a garbage bin or garbage bags? I live in an apartment building, so I use garbage bags. And we reuse grocery bags, so I happen to know that we use 2 grocery-sized bags of garbage in a week. If you're someone who uses black garbage bags, you can make that a grocery-sized bag of garbage by knowing that 1 big black grocery bag holds 4 grocery-sized bags of garbage. And yes, my household does recycle. Lastly, we just like to know how you heard about us. I'm going to say through a workshop, because that is what we're doing right now. And if you have anything else you'd like to let us know about your experience using our calculator, please feel free to put it in the suggestion box. All right. When it shows you your results, it shows you what your carbon score is, and then it shows you what that looks like compared to other households of the same size as you. So when it shows me my carbon score, it shows my carbon score in comparison to households that also have 2 adults and 0 children. So you can see that my carbon score of 11.4 is a little bit better than the average household score for a household of my size, but it's still not quite as low as the carbon score for the top 30% of Project Neutral users of the same household size as me. If you scroll down a little bit further, you'll be able to see a breakdown of your carbon footprint across each of those 5 categories. So you can see here that my lowest categories are travel and waste, and my highest categories are food emissions and home energy emissions. Here we have neat ways to visualize your carbon footprint, you can see that my carbon footprint of 11.4 would need 15 acres of forest to capture all of it, and it's equivalent to 26 barrels of oil. Next, you'll have the option to complete 5 more surveys that are deeper dives into each of the 5 categories. By filling those out, you'll be able to get the most accurate read on your carbon footprint as possible. And finally, we have ways that you can take action. By being able to see what your highest categories are, you can see where your impacts will have the most need. My food emissions are really high, so I could look at that and say, oh my goodness, my food emissions are egregiously high and I'm really concerned and I want to do something about it. And I can. I can scroll down to the bottom here, click on food emissions, and I am met with awesome suggestions for how I can reduce my carbon footprint. I can increase my plant-based meals, reduce food waste, choose low-impact foods, and support sustainable farmers and producers. And we have suggestion cards for each of the 5 categories as well.